Sometimes they can actually give you the graph, then they want you to determine what the equation, or they give you equation, then they want you to sketch. You must know how to do both of the things. So we have this formula: a open bracket x minus 1, x minus 2, and x minus 3. Sorry, there it's x minus 1, not x minus 2. X minus 1, x minus 2, and x minus 3. Then you only use this formula to determine the equation of a graph if you are given 3 x values, or the x-intercepts or x-intercepts. That's very important. Then let's just try to do this example so that you can understand this. You'll be given 3 values or 3 x-intercepts and a point. Then if that's the case, you must know that no, this is the formula that you must use, right? Okay, let me just try to draw or to sketch this graph so that you can see what you must do. Also, you can have the picture of what I'm talking about. Okay, let me try to sketch this graph. It is decreasing. Okay, let me erase this part. The graph is decreasing. Then it also decreases, right? Okay, let me try to fix it here. All right, this is the graph of y. Now we have -2 here, then here we have, let's just use the red color, we have -1 here, -2 here, and -1, and also use a red color somewhere here. We have +3. Then we are also given a point up here as the y-intercept. So this point will help us to find the value of a, the gradient, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So what you're going to do, you're going to write down this formula, then you substitute these 3 values, right? Sorry about that. Okay, thank God it's restored. And you're going to use that formula, y equal to a, then where there's x, okay, this is a, x minus x1. X1 will be that positive, it will be -2, but it will be positive when you substitute it. Then x plus 1 and x minus 3. I hope you understand this. Then you're going to do the FOIL here. X times x is x squared. Then x times 1 is positive x. 2 times x is positive 2x. 2 times positive 1 is 2, and x minus 3. Then you simplify these ones. We're having 3x here plus 2, then x minus 3. Then you can do the FOIL of the remaining, right? y equals a, open bracket, x cubed, then x times -3, it will be -3x squared. Then 3x times x, it's going to be 3x squared. Then 3x times -3, okay, here's 3x squared, -9x. Therefore positive 2 times x is positive 2x, then -6. Then you can simplify or group the like terms. X cubed, no, it's x cubed minus, okay, these ones are going to cancel out. Then these ones are going to give us what? -7x. Remember here it's cube, right? -7x, not squared, minus 6. Then what you're going to do, you're going to distribute the a inside the brackets. It's going to be y equal to ax cube minus 7ax minus 6a. Then for us to find the value of a here, we must actually substitute this point over here, the y-intercept. So it's going to be 1 equals a, where there's x, you substitute 0 as it is written on that point, a cubed minus 7 0 minus 6a. Then we're going to have 1 equals negative 6a. We divide both sides by negative 6. Therefore, our answer is going to be a1 over 6, but negative. And it makes sense since the graph is decreasing and it ends by what? By decreasing. It means that a is negative. Then you can take this value of a, and substitute it back on the graph of y. You can substitute it here. Therefore, we have negative 1 over 6 x cubed minus 7 into negative 1 over 6 minus, okay, close bracket, minus, okay, we have x minus 6 into negative 1 over 6. Therefore, you can work out the answers using a calculator. Then when you use your calculator here, let me try to use mine. We are having positive, okay, this calculator is giving me troubles. Okay, it's positive 7 over 6x. Then we will have positive 1, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just confirm it with the calculator. So negative 6 times negative 1 over 6 is positive 1. So this is the graph of f, or the graph of y. You only use this formula whenever you have 3x intercepts or 3x values of the x-intercepts and the point. That's when you use this formula. I hope that makes sense. Whenever you are given these 3 and the point. I hope that makes sense. If you didn't understand, make sure that you rewind the video so that you can try to watch it. These are very important questions that are found in exam. Then the second one, let's say you are given f of x as x squared, x cubed plus ax squared minus bx plus 3. Then let me just show you by having a graph or a cubic function. Then they want you to show that a equals whatever and b equals whatever value. So this is what you must do, or this is what you must know. Whenever you are given the turning points here, then they want you to show that a equals 4 or a equals b, something like that. You are given the stationary points here, as you can see. You are given the stationary points. What you must do, you will derive this. You will write first derivative. You only do this whenever you are given two stationary points. You are given these 2 stationary points. After the derivative, you're going to take the x value of that turning point, substitute it on the derivative. This is still the derivative. Then what you're going to do, you will take the x value of the stationary point, you substitute it on the derivative, then you will have what? Equation 1. I hope that makes sense. Only when you are given 2 stationary points. I hope that makes sense. So it's going to be b. After you substituted it, you're going to have equation 1. Then again, you go to the second stationary point. You take the x value of the stationary point, you equate it on the derivative. So that we'll have what? The second equation. Then you substitute it and you make b the subject of the equation. Then after this, you can solve simultaneously by saying equation 1 equals equation 2. Then you are done. You can prove whatever that they wanted you to prove. I hope that makes sense. If you have if you have 2 stationary points, you do this. Derive, then you take the first x value, you substitute it on the derivative. Then when you're done, you take the second one, you substitute it on the derivative for equation 2. Then you can solve simultaneously. I hope that makes sense. So this is the second case. I hope it makes sense. And you take the second one here, you substitute it on the second x value, substitute it on the graph, on the derivative for you to find equation b, then solve simultaneously. This is the second case. The first case was the one that we were actually doing previously. Then the third one, you will be given, for an example, let's say you are given a graph like, oh, this graph, my goodness. Okay. Let's say you have this graph over here, then you have 1 stationary point. you do not have, or you are not given another stationary point, let's just use the very same f of x as x cubed plus ax squared minus bx plus 3. Then you will do what? You will derive. After you have derived, you will actually write the first derivative, equate it to 0. Then you take this x value, you substitute it on the derivative where there's x, you substitute it, then you will have what? Equation 1. You'll have equation 1. And now when you check the graph, you do not have the second stationary point. You do not have the second stationary point. So you took the first stationary x value of the stationary point, you substituted it on the derivative or on the first derivative to have what? The first equation. But when you check, you do not have the second what? The second derivative, so that you can substitute it and have what? Equation 2. But now, since you do not have it, you must actually take the whole point and substitute it on the graph of f, the original graph. Then you will have b, the subject of the formula, and you have equation 2. I hope that makes sense. But here we're having both the stationary points. That's why we've done it that way. But if you only, or if you have one stationary point, you take, you derive, then you substitute the x value of the stationary point on your derivative, then you take the entire point, you substitute it on the graph of f, the original graph. I hope that makes sense. Let me repeat. You will take this entire point, you'll take the x value, you substitute it on the first derivative, then you'll have what? The first equation. Then after that, you will take the entire point, you substitute it on the graph of f, the original graph, to find equation b. Then after that, you can actually solve simultaneously. I hope it makes sense. Then you say equation 1 equals equation 2, then solve simultaneously. In these questions that they want you to solve or show that a equals whatever value and b equals whatever value. So this is very, very important. Let me just show you how to do this to answer these questions. Now you are given this graph h of x. So this is h of x, as you can see, is drawn. Then the graph has turning points. 0 is to 0 here, and b4 is to 32. Then they want us to show that a equals -1 and b equals 6. There are 5 marks, sometimes 6. Then what you must do now, you must actually derive h, then you equate it to 0, then 3ax squared plus 2bx equals 0. Then what do you do next? You take the x value of the turning point, you substitute it on the derivative for you to find equation 1. I hope it makes sense now. Plus 2b then into 4 equals 0. Then you can simplify it further. So 3 times 4 squared, 8, going to be 48a plus 8b equals 0. Then let's make b or a the subject of the formula, but I'll make b the subject of the formula. By transposing 8 to the right hand side, it will be -48a. Then we divide both sides by 8. Therefore, b will be equal to -6a. Is it -6a? Just use your calculator. -6a. This is our first equation. We got first equation by taking the x value of the stationary point and equating it to, substituting it to the first derivative. But now we do have 0 here as the second turning point. If we'll take it and substitute it on the derivative, we'll be proving that 0 equals 0, left hand side equals right hand side. It will never work. Therefore, take the entire point b, you substitute it on the graph of h, the original graph. Why? Because if you substitute 0 is to 0, you'll be proving that the left hand side equals right hand side. You can even try it. Okay, so let's just take this b point and substitute it on the graph of h as it is. Why? Because 0 and 0 will never help us. So 32 equals a to the 4 cubed plus b into 4. Then 32 equals 4 cubed. What is 4 cubed? It's 64. Therefore 64a plus 4b. Okay, it must be 8b there because there's a square. Therefore 32 equal to, sorry, here there's a squared. That makes 8b to be 16b, not 8. Sorry about that. Minus 6a equals minus 64a equals 16b. We divide both sides by 16 to make b the subject of the formula or the equation. So here we're having 64 minus divided by 16, we're going to have 4a equals what? Equals b. Then this is our second equation. Therefore we can solve these equations simultaneously. I'm going to say equation 1 equals equation 2. And what's equation 1? It's negative 6a equal to 2 minus 4a. Then we can solve for a by transposing 4 to the left. Minus 6a plus 4a, we're going to have 2. Therefore negative 2a, sorry, it's negative 2a equals 2. Then we divide both sides by negative 2. Then a equals negative 1, of which is what they wanted us to show here, as you can see. I hope you are understanding this. If you are not, please make sure that you rewind the video. Then for us to find the value of b, you can use either equation 1 and equation 2. You substitute the value of a. I will use equation a. Even if you use equation b, it's one and the same thing. Therefore let's take the first equation, and let's take a and substitute it on the first equation. Even if you can substitute it on the second equation, therefore b equals negative 6 into negative 1. Then our answer is positive 6, as it is actually shown on the question 10.1. I hope that makes sense. Very, very important. So please make sure that you like the video. If you understood, please make sure that you like the video. Would actually appreciate that. So it's very, very important, guys, for you to understand these types of questions. Thank you. Please like the video and subscribe.